Welcome to the Vault, where Central Illinois' best kept stories are held.
Welcome back into the Vault. John and I are here with Diana Eldridge, the marketing officer for the Title Center here in Springfield. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for welcoming me.
How are you doing today?
What's going on? It's a little hot out there, but I'm good.
For sure. Well, we're excited to talk about you and talk about the Title Center and get people some information they might not know. I know you're in one of those industries that there's a little bit of mystery around it in terms of what you guys do. Some people that are lenders for a living know exactly what happens in your office, but tell folks maybe a little bit about you and about the company.
So we've been around since 2002, and we are a title insurance company. So when you purchase a house or refinance, you need title insurance, and that's what we do. And some people are like, well, what is title insurance? And just see it as another fee that they have to pay and part of the process. But it's important stuff. It's protection. So it's protection that they are truly the owner of their home.
Right.
So the seller pays for the majority of, they pay for the owner's policy, so they pay for the big part of the title insurance. And I look at it as kind of a housewarming present that they're giving to this new homeowner, saying everything's been done correctly, there's no liens, judgments, unclaimed heirs, anything, it's been passed through the process correctly, you're truly the owner of this property. Now, do people come to light down the road? Do things happen? Yes. So that's why you've got it.
Right.
It's protection. So it's a one-time insurance payment. So it's not like homeowners car insurance where it's a monthly or annual thing. And once you have that, it stays on the home for the whole time that you're the owner. But it's important stuff because we go back and do a big search to make sure that everything's been done properly and that you are truly the owner of that home.
Okay, so I know you're really good at your job, and we know the words that you said, but some of our viewers might not understand some of the terminology that you just went right through real quick.
Okay.
So within a title policy, what are the specific things that you're protecting that person that's buying the home or the real estate, the building, whatever that might be? What are those things protecting them from?
Okay, so we call them the hidden risks. So let's say that it's been in the family for a long time and nobody's ever done a search on it. So then we do a search and we find out that, or somebody shows up at your door, let's say, and says, I'm an heir of a person that used to own this home. And I don't think it went through the process correctly because it was sold by somebody that didn't necessarily have the rights to sell it. Right. Let's say that there were multiple owners on it. There's different heirs. They have to disclose who all the heirs are. If that wasn't done correctly, then they could have a right to your property, which is really scary that you're in the house living in there. So the title insurance is going to go back and check, make sure that everything's been done correctly, deeded correctly, and sometimes there's open mortgages, and that could be an error at the county office, a misindexing. There's just lots of risk there, lots of hidden risks that can come to light way down the road when you go to sell it. There could be a judgment or a lien that didn't get taken care of, or it did, and it just hasn't been released. So we're going to do our due diligence and go back and search everything and make sure that everything is clear, everything's been done properly, and none of those risks will come to light, hopefully. And then if they do, you've got an insurance policy that becomes a claim. We've got a whole group of attorneys, and then it becomes a claim, and they take that and they make it right and incur the cost or share the cost. It's insurance. So, you can't ever tell anybody that it's 100%. But they're going to go to fight for it and get it all straightened out.
I think what a lot of people automatically assume is, we call it title work a lot of times, and it's just something that the title company does in order for me to get to close. But what you just said was pretty important, that it is literally an insurance policy that they're purchasing, that if something later comes to light, it will indemnify, I guess, and go back and take care of that situation. So you mentioned one of the things, and we like to talk about commercial property a lot. What are some liens that could happen on a commercial property that could be carried forward to a new owner that they should be leery of?
I don't know a specific on that. I am not the commercial guru in our office. Jennifer Carnduff Lewis is our, and we've got. I have to tell you guys, we have a staff of almost 50 at work, and
Really? Wow,
and
that's awesome.
we've got experts in the field. We've got people that have been in this industry 40 plus years. So I don't have a specific example. I mean, it would be the same thing that could happen on the residential side. I mean, there could be open
Mechanics
mortgages, there
liens.
could be mechanics liens, there could be judgments. In fact, there could be maybe even more open to that with a commercial deal
Yeah,
because
sure, right.
there's so many contractors and all that involved. We do construction escrow process too.
Yep.
So, like I said, I don't have a specific example of that, but we have the top people at our title company, the top in the industry, and I go to them daily. I like to think that I know all about title insurance, but there is no way to know
right.
every aspect of it.
Right.
And I love that I've got that core group that I can go to and,
Yeah.
and find out. And I love that part of this job because it's never the same old day. Just like you guys,
Right.
there's never a scenario that's the same.
No.
And so I can always learn from that. But yeah, the commercial probably has even more of a
Hidden risks.
liability,
Yeah.
hidden risks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it definitely does.
But you've got our policy, so
Right,
it's,
sure.
it's going to. And then you guys, as a lender, get a lender's policy too, so
Yep.
that protects your mortgage and
Right.
keeps you guys in place where you're supposed to be, so that if they default, then you've got,
Make sure that it
something
carries
to
over
fall
to
back
us
on.
so that
Yeah.
we can.
Right, and that you're in the right position, that
Correct.
nobody else gets in there in front of you, and because when people default, they're defaulting usually to a lot of places and a lot
Right.
of people. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot to it. We've got departments for everything. We've got 11 different branches, so we're kind of scattered around the Illinois area, but we can do title work in the entire state.
Okay.
And we even go over into Iowa and do some title work there too. So,
Wow.
and then we can give referrals to different states as well because we've got connections there.
Do title companies in general have a footprint that they can only work in? Like, do you have to be, so banks, for instance, you're usually used to be a lot more restricted, but you're chartered in a certain area. Can a title company work through anywhere through Illinois? Could they do title work in Indiana, things like that? Or is it,
Each state has their own requirements,
Okay.
so we have to meet that criteria.
Okay.
We have been doing some work in Missouri, and we're finding that it's just become very difficult with the stringent rules that they have and stuff. So we're going to be pulling back from that because our employees that work in that area have to have special licensing, all kinds of stuff. And as you guys know, some of these fees and stuff are making it almost
Sure.
impossible to.
Right.
It's just not worth it.
Right.
We do title work in the entire state.
Okay.
And so we have to be able to search, though, in those areas, too. So I can't speak for another title company. I know that some of them just strictly stay, some of our other competitors here in town, they're just here.
Right.
And I don't know how far out they go.
Sure.
But we've got to be able to get those searches done, and so we have searchers all around, and we've got access to those different places.
is it still a point where a searcher has to physically go to a courthouse sometimes,
No.
or is it pretty much?
Thank God, no.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
The days of old. So you've been around this. You're a young person too, but yeah. So the days of having to go and pull those big books and stuff. Sometimes you still have to because it's been so long since that property's been touched. That,
Sure.
But for the most part, a lot of it's online, which was a blessing during COVID and everything. Should I even bring up that word?
right. Good.
Makes the hair stand up on the back of
Yeah,
your neck.
yeah.
That was strange,
Those,
yeah.
if we could tell stories, we could just do a COVID segment
Oh, yeah.
of some of the stories
Easily.
of closings and stuff that we had to
Easily.
do during that time. If we can survive that, we can get through it.
Yeah, I agree with you. 100%.
So most of it's online, thank goodness, and technology is just getting better and better all the time. We are able to do RON closings now, which are complete remote closings. We've got
That's
4
nice.
closers that are credentialed for that, and they have the special notary credential. We've done a lot of them, but they've been seller side only and cash because we run into the not having the wet signature on
Right.
the mortgage and the deed, and banks don't like that.
No.
So
Yeah, is the county good with that? I
they
can't
are
remember.
here. We've had to look at each county that we're at.
Okay.
But we've done. They have to have access to. So we do a lot of investors. So they have to have access to a camera and the internet.
Oh,
Okay.
So we just
It's
did one in Puerto
it's
Rico.
recorded?
It's recorded.
okay.
And we did one in Puerto Rico. We've done them in all different countries, and it's really cool. And right now, I mean, the cost of it is it's only another $150 to $200,
Okay.
which is cheaper than getting a mobile notary. And
Yeah.
then, and it's a fully insured
Heck of a lot
closing.
cheaper than
So
a plane
they're-
ticket too.
They're notarizing it via video at
They
that point.
are,
Oh,
and,
wow,
and
that's
they've got
neat.
a special notary credential that they can do that. You can't just like I'm a notary. I
Sure.
could not do that.
Right.
But they have the credentials to do that. So as far as I know, we are the only title company in the area offering those right now.
Interesting.
And I think they'll just get better and better as the compliance gets on board with not maybe having a wet signature and having the e-signature. So.
Yeah, we would love to be able to do that.
That's a topic for another podcast.
Yeah, we're getting there though.
Yeah.
We're getting
Yeah.
there. I mean,
it seems like 2025 we should be there by now. We have cars that drive themselves, but we can't do a remote closing.
Are you going to get in one of those cars? Because I'm not.
We'll
That
see.
terrifies me. I wouldn't even ride with my kids who are great drivers when they were 16. You know, I'm
Yeah.
to get in a car, in the backseat of a car and having it just drive for you, there's no way.
Yeah, it's kinda
Not this
scary.
girl. Yeah. Not happening.
I feel like I'm Team Jesus takes the wheel every time. I'm in the car. Just whatever happens, happens. That's what it is.
But could you just let go though and
Yeah,
just let it
probably.
drive?
Yeah.
Could you sit in the back while it's moving?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean,
You're
be a little.
an adrenaline junkie or something.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
You're probably bungee.
I'm a banker. I'm definitely not an adrenaline. junkie.
Okay.
I promise you
Good
that.
point.
Yeah, there's not many of us that are, but something like that would be okay.
Would you?
I would give it a shot. Yeah, I'm interested in it. It would be nice to be able to go on long trips and not have to be the driver because
True.
my wife is like, "Do you want me to drive?" And I'm like, "Do you want to drive?" She's like, "Not really." So I end up doing most of the driving.
And is she over there like doing the?
No, she's she's a passenger princess. She's got a blanket and
I like
she's
her
cuddled up
already.
and on her phone and sleeping and
Well, that's why she wants you to drive.
Right, yeah, she's chilling. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Smart lady.
Yeah.
How does somebody get into the world of title insurance? How did
Don't
you
little
get
girls
there?
dream of that?
Yeah, no, that's what
I
I
wanted
thought.
to be a princess,
Yeah,
and I wanted
right.
to be a singer and all that. So you stumble into it.
Yeah.
And I did in my 20s. I met Dana Lyons, who is our agency manager and title guru. I met her in my 20s, and she said we need a receptionist. It was at Lee Zelli Title.
Okay.
And I thought, sure, because I didn't really know what I wanted to be when I grew up. My major was in communications and public relations. So I started as a receptionist, and then I got into construction escrow. It's a great opportunity for somebody to grow because, as we talked about earlier, there's no college education, there's no course for title insurance.
Right.
But it's if you're willing to be a hard worker and learn as much as you possibly can and be open to learning,
Yep.
it's a great industry to grow in. And that's what you do is you take these people that start out maybe in a more entry level position, and if they're willing to work hard, you take them and you grow them into where their interests are because there's lots of parts of it.
Right.
There's searching, which is for sorry guys, sorry searchers, I love you guys, but they geek out over title insurance. They like to work puzzles. They're those kind of people.
Yeah, figuring things out.
And the underwriters too.
Yeah.
Right.
So thank God there's people like that. I'm not one of them. In fact, I can get lost. I'll get lost trying to get out of here. I'm just not that person. But they map it out and they put everything down on paper.
Nice.
And you have to because
Right.
it's tricky. So those people. So it's an industry where you can find your niche. And
Okay.
so I like people and I like to talk, obviously. So the marketing was, to me, a no-brainer. So construction escrow gave me an opportunity to meet the builders.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do closings
Right.
now. I've learned that part of it. And I go out and right now my big job is to bring in business.
Right.
So I'm going on a spree right now where I'm meeting with all our member banks, which you guys are one of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
and just talking about how much we appreciate you guys working with us and seeing what we can do to make that process easier
Love it.
at all times. So
Love it.
But that's how I stumbled into it and just worked hard,
Mm-hmm.
worked my way up into it. I left it at one point. I don't know if you guys remember back in the Aspen real estate days.
I've heard of them. Yep.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I was their marketing person. I went over there every day, and then when they kind of disbanded and formed the group, I went back to construction escrow, and I didn't really want to do that, so I left. And kind of fast forward, I worked at the title center with Dana back in 2009ish, and I left for a long time, and I just came back 5 years ago.
Nice.
And we've just grown so much. Like I said, we have 11 branches, so it's just become a bigger position. And I've really enjoyed growing with the company.
Love it.
I watched her build it into a little empire, and it's fun to be part of that.
Love that.
Yeah.
So you said something that kind of set a little chill down my spine is construction escrow,
Yeah.
which can be, I mean,
I didn't know if it was going to be a good chill or
No.
that's a bad chill.
That's a bad chill.
it's kind of a good chill because we like doing construction
Right.
loans, but can be one of the most complicated
Yeah.
and difficult
And
transactions
dangerous.
and
I mean,
very
open
dangerous.
to a lot of
Hidden risks.
liabilities. Yeah.
So-
Keep going back to
Yes.
that.
Let's talk about that because for the first time in a while, I see a pretty good amount of houses being built right now.
Yeah.
Not as many construction as, not strip malls as much. We went through a little phase of that around Springfield, especially here on the west side. We had several go up.
But more
That's kind
residential.
of slowed down,
Yeah.
but now we're seeing we're seeing especially like Chatham, some Rochester stuff. We're seeing quite a bit of houses going in. As a homeowner, a lot of them, they're like, what risk is there? I'm just paying a guy to build the house.
Yeah.
So what?
There's a lot of risk, and I tell people you need to use a title company or a bank to do your disbursements because they are writing big checks to these people, and if you're not collecting the proper lien waivers and everything, we've had people come to us at the end when they didn't use anyone and say, "Can we get title insurance and lien waiver clearance?" And it's like, no,
Right.
we've got to get all this in order. There's a lot of risks with it because, as we know, people aren't always as they present themselves to be, and so you got to make sure that you're working with a reputable builder. That's hard to say.
Yeah.
And that they are using people that you can trust too, and that they've got
Right.
the proper licensing in place and their insurances in place. All of that stuff.
Sure.
I've seen through the years of when I used to do it, it can be a nightmare.
Yeah.
I always said, well, I shouldn't always say this, but most of the time at the end, you don't like your builder too much at the very end.
Yeah,
Because it's
I can
such
see that.
it's
Yeah.
such a high stress.
Yeah.
It was really bad in my marriage when he was the builder.
Well, they say building,
that's
a house,
tough. That's
building a
tough.
house is one of the most stressful things you
You know,
can
that
do.
was where we got along the best, which was
Oh, really?
weird. That tells you a lot about
Yeah.
that relationship.
Yeah.
Which is no longer. So, but yeah, it's a very treacherous.
Yeah.
It can be. So you've got to have somebody watching.
Right.
A bank, a title company, making
Maybe
sure that
both.
both.
Yeah.
I think banks like to pass the title escrow part to the title insurance.
Yes.
Oh,
company
yeah, we
because
feel a lot better about it.
yeah, then you
It
don't
makes
have
us
that
feel like
liability.
somebody is watching very
Yes.
close.
Yes, and
Right.
Dana has that construction escrow background.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she excelled in back in the Lizelli days.
Mm-hmm.
So she has a really good process in place, and she sees how it can be a big liability. So
Right.
she watches it. She's got things in place, checks and balances in place to keep
Nice.
everybody as safe as you possibly can.
Right.
Because we don't want claims either.
Right.
So-
Nobody does.
So it may not be as fresh now because it's like a whole nother generation that's buying and building and things like that. But before we had this lull, there was a lot of building going on around Springfield, and we had some builders fail and some issues come up and things. Can you think of any stories that had construction escrow issues that you guys had to work through or that you saw?
Without getting too specific,
Mention names
but
or anything, but-
there are times where people can't come to agreements on some of the things, or they need to close and get moved in, and the bank's okay with some of it because it's close enough. I think it has to be like 80% complete with most banks. So there are times where we have to hold back money So for the work that still needs to be done, especially if it's like sod or something or a pool or something that it's not the right weather to do. So we often hold money back. Sometimes we have to hold the money, and you usually have to do like a 1.5 times what it's projected to cost, just to cover any unforeseen things, which, as you know, happen all the time in construction. But there are times where they're fighting. They're all and so we have to. And there are times where they just have to get an attorney involved. I mean, we don't practice law.
Right.
We have to protect our customers and protect ourselves and protect our banks. So that's what we do.
Can those situations cause issues with a person not being able to get their final loan, like a final 30-year mortgage at the end and things like that?
I haven't personally seen anything where we haven't been able to resolve that. I'm sure there are stories out there, maybe even at our company, but nothing that I've heard of. Usually people come to their senses because
get it settled.
They want to get paid, they want to move in, they want it all to be resolved. So usually it all comes together. But we do hold on to some money, and then people have to come to some resolution on that. So
That makes sense.
Yeah. We definitely don't want to do those draws ourselves because it just the amount of risk is not worth what we can have you to take care for us.
So many things that we do on a loan by loan basis. It's nice to have a third party. That's certainly one of them. Where it's innocent bystander, if you will, that is handling it. So that way, like you said, there are no surprises.
And we've had people with cash that just wanted every I dotted, every T crossed, and that's smart.
Right.
And they have us handle that and do the disbursements. So.
Yeah, because when you break it down and look at what you're paying, at the end of it, and just to know that you have that insurance, that you have that peace of mind.
It's like $800 for 6 draws. I mean, and you do one a month. Usually your house is done in 6 months. So, but yeah, peace of mind. And then at the end, you've got all we are the ones that collecting all the lien waivers and everything, and then we're giving lien waiver clearance, and we're giving title insurance. So they got everything. So, I think title insurance is important for everybody to have, even when you don't have a lender involved, because
so even somebody who's buying a property cash should get title insurance.
Yes. Yeah, at least a search done, because I wouldn't want to buy a house if I didn't know that it had been properly done.
Sure.
And you can fill out your own quitclaim deed, take it to the recorder's office, and have it recorded.
Right.
They record what you give them.
Right.
Does that mean it's not up to them to tell you if it's right or not? That's not their job. So there's lots of times where it's not right.
Yeah.
And then, we've got the method of holding title, which is very important too, that a lot of people probably don't have it correct, and it's out there. The default here in Illinois is, if it wasn't chosen, it's tenants in common. And not most people don't want that, especially most married couples.
Does it typically default to that on like business partners also? So like Nick and I buy a property together, will it automatically default to tenants in common?
Or if you're in like an LLC or something?
Sure.
No, I don't think that does.
Okay.
I think it's more in the residential.
It's just going to go to the LLC portion of it.
Yeah. But you want to take a look at that, and then we don't ever tell anybody which to choose, and nobody really should accept an attorney. So, so we have a great form that I've got in here. It's called Method of Holding Title. It explains the choices very clearly, and so I give those to people. It's on our website, so anyone can look that up, and I just tell them, read that over. You make the decision what works best for you. But I have a favorite story, and it wasn't us, but it was shared with us. It was a young couple that, and this is not my favorite part, the husband unexpectedly died in a car accident, but the wife finds out that they had ownership as tenants in common. So you would think, okay, her husband died, his half goes to her. It went to their little kids. So anytime that she had to do anything, if she wanted to refi, wanted to sell it, she had to go in front of a judge, and he had to make the decision that was in the best interest of those children. So, you don't want that kind of problem, and you don't know.
But that could be, tell me if I'm wrong, like a situation where it's a second marriage, and maybe the husband or the wife has children that are not from that marriage. That could be a situation
where they want tenants in common.
Okay.
Yes, if you can do it, you can do like You can do toadies, which is a transfer and death instrument. I'm not the expert on all this, so I don't want to get too far into all this. But we have them in our office. But
sure, dangerously getting close to geeking out on this.
Yeah, no, I kind of geek out on it too.
Yeah.
But so there are things in place for things like that. Like I just moved in with my boyfriend, and he put me on his title. He has no heirs, no children.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 children. So we had to have that uncomfortable discussion of, which do we choose? What do we do here? Yeah. But it's something that is important to discuss with each other and figure out what the best route is to go, because when that person passes, that's what they look at. And
I remember when we bought our first house, we weren't married yet, my wife and I, and we were property married for a while because the banker and me said, why are we paying somebody else's mortgage? Let's buy a house. But I remember going through that process and trying to figure out what was going to make the most sense just in case, like worst case scenario, we got to play this out. So,
I cringe sometimes when I see some of the things that people do, because I'm like, that could be, you're in love, but you never know where that's going to take you. And
definitely not this. I wouldn't recommend it, but
when I see like a person that's owned it for a long time and then they had their boyfriend on, I'm like,
right, yeah,
and I just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, you guys have seen everything, I'm sure.
There's more to come, I'm sure. Yeah. But we all need to write it down, and we could have a coffee table book.
I bet. I bet.
So that's the title insurance in a nutshell, but there's a lot more to it than that.
What's one thing that you wish more people knew about your industry, or one misconception that you get tired of explaining over and over again? Something.
I don't ever get tired of explaining it, because I feel like there's so much to it. I'm always like, what's my elevator speech? Because we get so many phone calls for people thinking we're going to help them, give them a loan on their car title,
Really?
And none of this bothers me, but there is a misconception that, you've got an actual piece of paper when you have a car title. With your house, you don't have that. And so people are like, well, when am I going to get my title? I'm like, you have an owner's policy, and you get that while you still owe money to a bank.
Right.
It's not like you pay off your mortgage and you get the title. Like you do when you get your car, paid off. So that's just a misconception out there that we get those questions all the time. But it never bothers me, because it's such an unknown industry that I feel dumb a lot, and I don't want to ever make anyone else feel dumb. So I'm like, there's never any bad questions. We get a lot of Secretary of State calls. We get a lot of calls for automobile titles.
Got it. Yeah, doesn't shock me at all.
The title center.
And I can always tell, like, when I'm at a party and somebody's like, what do you do? And I'm like, I work in title insurance, and they just want to walk away. At that point, they're just like, what?
That's when you immediately throw out a hobby you have or something.
Yes,
You're
exactly. I'm like, I'm really interesting, and it's
right.
really interesting too. Don't walk away.
There's never a lot of follow up with commercial loan officer either. They're like,
okay, that makes me feel a little better.
I had to submit a networking tip for a thing that we're working on for Rise, and I mentioned that, like, when you network with people, start with the person. And I think subconsciously what I was saying was, like, I have a job that nobody really wants to talk that much about, so maybe that's why I do it.
I think commercial branding is fascinating.
It's great. And if you get the right person, you can talk about it all day. But it's in just a party setting, there's maybe 10-20% of that room that would actually want to pick your brain on what it is that
they want
to
talk to the firemen and the cops.
Correct. Yeah, the first question is what's the vault like? Like, it's not what you think, first of all, and second of all, I'm nowhere near it ever. So there's that.
Yeah.
They don't mean this vault.
They mean
they ask
the
what the
vault.
bank vault's like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's boring.
Yeah. 100%.
It's a big heavy door.
Yep. Just a big heavy door with mostly coins.
Banking's changed a lot through the years too.
It has.
So
Significantly.
And you guys have been around a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, this bank.
Oh yeah,
not
absolutely.
you guys. I mean, you're young men.
Yeah. The bank's been around a very long time, and I mean, you're how many years in banking now?
24.
Yeah.
Oh, you started young.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was an infant.
Yeah.
And you've been here
No, I've been here for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 24, I was gonna say 20. It's a long time.
Yes, I'm old. Thank you.
Old man. Old young man.
Old young.
Diana said young man, so old.
I think
man.
you have that old soul though to you. I can see it.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's a compliment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want people to know about you or the Title Center? And also, where can people kind of keep track of what you guys have going on? And
Well, they can get on our website, which is www.iltitlecenter.com. We have a Facebook page. We have Instagram. I'm not so good at. In our industry, the social media part's a little...
ours too.
It's hard.
Pretty
with all
hard,
the
yeah.
compliance and all.
Well, how do you promote a title company? How do you promote a bank on social media?
Yes.
You know, we're not going to dance. We're not going to do a recipe or, you know, the things that people watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's more of a
everyone's like, "Do you
commercial.
TikTok? No, we don't TikTok. Because we're in an industry where we want people to trust us. We want to educate people.
Sure.
We want them to feel like they can come to us and be safe.
Yep.
Especially with all the fraud and stuff going on. So social media and that trust factor don't always go
100%.
together. But we're big in the community. We are community oriented in all of our offices. As I said, we have 11 offices, but some of them are just one person offices. It's just so that we're able to do closing services there.
Right.
And we always hire somebody from that community to run the office so that we don't lose that hometown local appeal, because that's important to us. And I mean, people are buying homes in these communities, and they want to know that they're working with people that are embedded in it, that believe in that, and that can help them find their way around. I mean, especially in Springfield when people are new to the area, we can give them some advice. And I'm a foodie, so I like to tell people my favorite places to eat, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to...
Title companies have the best pens.
Yeah.
Usually have some snacks or some drinks in there, so you can relax.
We serve
and-
warm chocolate chip cookies in our
I know.
Springfield
That's
office
true. Yeah, that's
closings.
true.
I need to clarify that because they'll be showing up in Jacksonville expecting them in Springfield. But and that just kind of... It's stressful. A lot of times, first-time home buyers, they don't know what to expect.
Right.
So just those warm chocolate chip cookies kind of say home.
Yeah.
And it's important that we try to give everybody the best experience when they're there because they're stressed out. There's a lot that has gone into getting to that closing table.
Oh, yeah.
From the lending point, the real estate point, and the title point. So by the time they get there, they're worn out. They're packing and they're moving, and so we just want to make that the day that they can just relax, sign their name a lot of times, but by then all their questions should have been answered by their banker, by their realtor, and it should just be a fun process of signing some papers and being handed the keys to your home.
I have a question. So can a individual, a buyer, pick which title company they want to use?
Not necessarily the buyer. I mean, I'm not going to say they can't, but it's usually seller side driven.
Okay.
So if they have a realtor that they're using, it's usually that realtor has a person that they trust and that they guide that to. If it's a for sale by owner, then the seller picks. Now, sometimes the buyer will have, like when my daughter and her husband just bought a house, and I wanted to do their closing. And so the selling agent was somebody that doesn't use our title company, but I kind of bribed him. But I just asked him, I really appealed to his, I was like, this is my daughter and her husband, it's her first house. And so
it's an easy thing to say yes to.
And he said, absolutely. So we were able to bring it over to our title company that way. But usually the seller.
That's cool.
Seller side. Yeah. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit more about me.
Yeah, please do.
So I have lived here since I was in 5th grade. So I'm big in the community. Love this area. Raised 2 children. Williamsville School. Okay. But I try to give back, and I have a ladies group that we get together once a month and try to do community-oriented things, or at least get together and do something fun once a month. It's a Facebook group called the Butterfly Club, and we have almost 600 members now.
Oh, wow.
And I started it in 2019 with 20 of my friends. And it's just a place where we can lift each other up, encourage each other. It is girls only, so sorry, guys.
That's right.
You guys got your guys group. Yeah. We have to have ours.
Well, we don't, but we're going to start one after
I don't think you want to go around telling people you're part of the Butterfly Club. But we're making PBJs for Springfield for the shelters and stuff. We're doing that this weekend, and we're hoping to make 500-600 of them.
Well, yeah,
we
you
just
got
did
that
that
many
at work
people.
too.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody shows
Yeah,
up
but
for everything.
even if you had a third, you
Yeah.
could knock out a
Yeah,
handful
we're
of
hoping
pajamas.
to do a lot
Yeah.
because there's a big need for that.
That's cool.
But that's how I it just feeds my soul. I like
Yeah.
to give back. I like to do community things. And then I am on the board of Habitat for Humanity.
Awesome.
And then I have been in the past part of I Will, which is Women in Leadership, and that's a great group. And then the SILSA,
Okay.
the Customer Service Association. I was on their advisory committee. So
Very nice.
had to give up some of that stuff because I travel so much for work.
Yeah.
So you have to pick and choose, and I have
Get
got to
that.
give my all to my job.
Yeah.
So, and then I do have family and that time. So, but I encourage everybody to get involved in something in the community and give back and just do your part. Find what
Right.
fills your soul.
Yeah.
And do that because I think it's really important that, especially you guys being younger, you said you're part of Rise. That's a great group.
Yeah.
So just become part of those organizations and get out there and support the community that we all live in.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah. Entrench yourself. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good advice.
Yeah.
It's very good advice. And I don't want to break any news on our podcast, but you are interested about podcasting
Yes.
in general. So
No, you should hold me accountable.
Okay.
Because I've had the microphone
Okay.
for 2 years.
Oh, really? You already
I've never
bought
even
it?
opened the box.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
I bought it 2 years ago. But that's going to be more on a person. It's not
Yeah.
going to be title insurance. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Who's going to tune
That
into
would be
that?
exciting.
You-
About as
I
exciting as
can't wait
banking.
to be a guest on the Title Center's podcast. It'd be awesome.
But it's going to be ladies. I
Yeah.
love guys. Believe me,
That's
it's
fair.
not. But we're
We're
going to
noticing a theme here.
No, because I've been through it.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be. Well, if you guys are smart, you'll listen to it.
That's
because
fair.
You're going to
That's
learn
fair.
about women.
That's
like
fair.
that.
It's going to get sent to me by my
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah. So just going to share some of the life experience
Yeah.
that I've had and what
Love
I've
it.
learned from it, and whether it resonates with somebody, wonderful. And then I'm going to have other people on there, and we'll have fun topics. It's not going to be,
Yeah.
I've got a friend that does travel, and a lot of them that have some fun jobs. So it'll
Sweet.
just be that. And I don't know. You guys just jumped in, and
Yeah,
it just
100%.
turns out to
Yes,
evolve
right.
into what it's supposed to be.
We've talked about this on previous podcasts, but Nick and I went on a podcast, and we had been talking about podcasts before, so we were
Similar,
like,
yeah.
this is perfect. So what we did was we asked the guys all kinds of questions. How'd you do it? And they're
Yeah.
like, guys, just do it.
You're right.
Don't worry about
that
it. Just
microphone
do
out of
it.
the box.
And
Yeah.
our first 5 were terrible.
They were
I mean, they're
pretty
still
bad.
pretty bad now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like
This
we
one's
get better.
fantastic.
Yeah, no,
This
this
is
is the
the
best
best-
one we've had.
best
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I
Don't tell Jared.
feel like it gets better and better with time. You just need to do it
Yeah.
and not worry about it
Yeah.
being some glorious thing that's going to get views and things
Yeah.
like that. Do it for yourself, and
Good advice.
It will
Just
it will
jump
come
in.
along.
And if we didn't
Okay.
enjoy it, we would have stopped already.
Well, and you
But-
guys have been successful. You've been doing it over 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, success because we're still around in our eyes is success. but-
Stubbornly
And you still
successful.
like each other.
Yeah,
'cause,
right.
You know?
right, yeah,
I mean,
Well-
for sure. Well, most days. Most days. What was what did Derek say that we should? Derek and Garrett said get to 100 episodes
I
before
can't
you quit.
remember. They said no, I think it was 50. I think
Okay,
they
that would
said
make more
get
sense.
50 under your belt
Before
Once
you
do
decide.
that, make a decision
Yeah.
because then you'll know.
Right.
But you'll make so many changes. We had a different name when we started. I think they
Oh.
did too.
Mhm.
We have had different camera setups, microphone setups. We've thought about going huge, and then we backed down. And it's
Who did
just,
your logo? That's really good.
That was done by Star Graphics downtown.
Okay,
They did
that's
a good
cool.
job.
Yeah, I like that.
And it was designed by our head of marketing, Hillary Patterson. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we I mean,
Good job,
you'll
Hillary.
you'll make updates if you're not satisfied with things. But just
Yeah.
start.
And nothing's set in stone. I
Right.
like that
Absolutely.
because you're in charge of it, so it
Yeah,
can shift
absolutely.
gears, and I like that. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. That's
Yeah.
great advice. I'm gonna do it.
I love
Doing it.
I love it.
Right.
I'm gonna do it. I need to be held accountable.
Yeah,
so
I get it. I
that's
get it.
very good.
I get it. Well, it sounds like folks can stay in touch with you pretty easily. It sounds like they may have a podcast to listen to here soon as well. So
Yes,
we'll-
but if you need title insurance, get a hold of us at the Title
Awesome.
Center. And like I said, we've got the website, and or we're at 2055 West Isles, and we love visitors. We've always got the chocolate chip cookies going, so come on. If you need a cookie someday, just stop in there.
Perfect.
We've had
That's good to
Katie
know.
sometimes
Oh, I'm
drop
sure.
by,
She's told
and
me that.
Lindsay,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
and so we like visitors. And if you guys ever want to geek out and learn more, Tyler, we would love to take you around and let you see the whole process.
Love it.
Be great.
We'll show you an abstract or something.
Whoa.
Sounds like
We're getting wild now.
Yeah. It's like offering to show somebody a write-up.
Commercial loan.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised though when people see those abstracts. Sometimes they just think that is the coolest
Yeah,
thing
that's
ever. I'm
fair.
thinking, what are you gonna do with that? Where are you gonna put that? You know, everything has to be in its place. So.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
True.
But thank you guys for all that you
Yeah.
do, making people more aware of the community and what we've got to
Try.
offer here.
Try.
Springfield has more than people think.
Yeah. Couldn't agree with you more there.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. It was awesome talking to you.
Thank you guys. It
right.
was fun.
Yep, absolutely.
Done.
All right. Da-dum.
That was great.
That was fun. You guys are fun.
The Vault, where Central Illinois' best kept stories are held.